In the vibrant streets of Lahore, Noreen Jabbar, a 37-year-old, shoulders the weight of a household, supporting a husband and 3 daughters by sewing clothes. Yet, behind the facade of her domestic responsibilities lies a harrowing reality of abuse and violence. Noreen recounts the agonizing moments after childbirth, when her husband's rage would erupt. He blamed her for giving birth to daughters and cursed his daughters for their family's misfortunes. As their financial struggles deepen, so does her husband's aggression, creating an increasingly hostile environment at home. Amidst this turmoil, a pivotal moment arrives when Noreen receives a call from her brother, delivering news of her husband's decision to divorce her. With a mixture of what I assume is relief and maybe apprehension, Noreen gathers her courage and makes the bold decision to leave her husband's house, taking her daughters with her. As the divorce proceedings unfold, Noreen's ex-husband's fury intensifies, manifesting in threats and harassment aimed at forcing her to return home. Yet, thankfully, fortified by the legal freedom granted by the divorce, Noreen stands her ground, supported by her family's unwavering support. With her brother's intervention and reassurance, Noreen's ex-husband is reminded of her newfound independence, a reality that bruises his fragile ego and prompts his eventual disappearance from her life. 3 months passed, and Noreen continued with her daily routine. It was a seemingly ordinary morning in 2013. At 7 a.m., as Noreen and her daughters made their way to school, Noreen heard her name called out. When she turned around to see who it was, a liquid was thrown onto her face, searing her skin with unbearable pain. Noreen's ex-husband had thrown acid on her. He had in the past threatened to throw acid on her, but now the threat had become a reality. The corrosive substance left Noreen with burns on one side of her face and had even reached her left eye, which caused unimaginable agony. As the acid also splattered onto her daughters, although less severely, her daughter's screams pierced the air, drawing the attention of bystanders. With her assailant fleeing from the scene, Noreen was rushed to the hospital, her world forever altered by the cruel act of violence. At the hospital, Noreen endured 5 agonizing hours of waiting for medical attention. The arrival of reporters added chaos to her ordeal, but with the commotion, somehow she clung to a glimmer of hope. Finally, after enduring what felt like an eternity, doctors administered an injection to ease her suffering. And miraculously, Noreen survived the ordeal, though it came at the devastating cost of her left eye. Her journey to recovery began in the hospital, where she remained for 15 days before being discharged. Following the horrific act, Noreen found a ray of hope in the form of the Depilex Smile Again Foundation, founded by the compassionate Masarat Misbah. This organization offered more than just medical aid. It provided a lifeline for survivors like Noreen, offering support, educational opportunities, and vocational training. With the aid of the Depilex Smile Again Foundation, Noreen underwent numerous cosmetic procedures to reconstruct her disfigured face, a difficult journey that not only aimed at physical restoration, but also probed deep into emotional healing. Masarat Misbah, the foundation's founder, recounted the challenges Noreen faced, noting the irreparable damage inflicted upon her by the acid attack. Yet, Noreen found comfort among fellow acid victim survivors and drew strength from their shared experiences and collective resilience. Employed at the Depilex salon in Lahore for several years, Noreen eventually transitioned to running her own salon from home, balancing her passion for hairstyling with her expertise in tailoring. Despite the initial hurdles of adjusting to life with impaired vision, Noreen's determination and love for her craft propelled her forward, transforming challenges into opportunities for growth. Quote, "With one eye, it was very difficult to adjust at first. Sometimes I would run into walls because I couldn't see from one side. Sewing was particularly difficult, but I've gotten used to it now, and I love my work." Unquote. Dr. Mozam Tarar, a prominent plastic surgeon in Lahore, shed light on the extensive and costly procedures involved in the recovery of acid attack survivors, emphasizing the importance of comprehensive care and support throughout the process. While thankfully Noreen's treatments were covered by the foundation run by Musarrat Misbah, many others continue to struggle due to the financial burden of medical expenses. Maybe now you're wondering what happened to Noreen's ex-husband? He was imprisoned for 14 years and had to pay a fine. Yet his punishment offers little consolation to Noreen. Quote, "He'll be out in another 6 years. We are very scared because we don't know what he'll do when he comes out. My daughters and I wish he was in prison for life, so we would not have to worry about him getting out." Unquote. Despite his attempts at reconciliation, Noreen remained resolute in holding him accountable for his actions, refusing to grant forgiveness or assistance in securing his early release. In response to the alarming prevalence of acid attacks, legislative measures such as the Acid and Burn Crime Bill have been enacted, aiming to curb the sale and use of corrosive substances. While these efforts have led to a significant decline in reported incidents, challenges persist in ensuring justice for survivors and holding the culprits accountable. Following the UK and India, Pakistan stands out for its significant incidence of acid attacks, with roughly 200 cases documented each year, solidifying its reputation as one of the most dangerous places for such assaults. The motivation behind these attacks on women vary widely, from rejecting marriage proposals to having daughters instead of sons, aspiring to pursue careers, and facing inadequate dowry during marriage. Unfortunately, it is predominantly women who fall victim to these attacks. The intention behind these attacks is often to assert dominance over women, to intimidate and subdue them, particularly by those whose egos are easily bruised. Noreen's journey is a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Despite enduring immense suffering, she found the strength to rebuild her life, supported by her family and organizations like Depilex Smile Again Foundation, and of course the courage of her fellow survivors. As Noreen continues her path toward healing and empowerment, her story serves as a beacon of hope, reminding us that even in our darkest moments, there is always the promise of a brighter tomorrow. If you're moved to help survivors like Noreen on their journey to recovery, please consider donating to the Depilex Smile Again Foundation. The link to the foundation is provided in the description. Your contribution could make a significant impact in restoring hope and dignity to those who have endured unimaginable pain. Thank you for tuning into Crime Stories of Pakistan with your host, Jehan. As a fairly new podcast, your support means the world to us. Leaving a review and subscribing to whichever platform you're listening to us on will greatly help us grow and improve our reach. Share your case suggestions in the comments or email us at crimestoriesofpakistan@hotmail.com. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay informed, and keep exploring the intriguing world of Crime Stories of Pakistan with your host, Jehan and Nas. Bye!